Hi everyone, welcome to Yun's Family Table. Today a recipe for handmade Chinese dumplings and a killer sauce that is so addictive. I love making these for my family and friends, and after watching this, I think you will too. Let's go! These are complete made from scratch dumplings, which means the wrappers are handmade as well. They're really simple, just takes time and effort. To the flour, add salt and slowly stream in the water. Start to pull the dough together while adding small bits of water as needed. The dough should not be too soft, so just add enough to bring it together. For the exact amount, check out the recipe on my blog. Once the dough becomes one, stop kneading. The easier way is to cover it and leave it to rest for 10 minutes. And when you come back, the dough would have relaxed and now it will be easy to knead it smooth. Then cover it again and let it sit until we're ready to use it. And if you want a juicy dumpling, I suggest you do this. And let it steep. Next, let's prep the vegetables. Along with the meat, these dumplings will be filled with dill. Yes, dill. This herb has a distinct taste that I just love. It's actually a quite popular dumpling filling in parts of China. But for those who don't enjoy the anise-y taste of dill, like my kids, Napa cabbage is also great. It'll need to be finely diced and salted to draw out their excess water. So do this part ahead of time and let it sit for 10 to 20 minutes. Finally, chop some ginger and green onions, and that's it for the veggies. As for the meat, minced pork. Try to get one with around 30% fat to 70% lean. Salt the meat and then add in the fragrant, now cool down liquid from earlier. Strain out the aromatics, of course. Work in the water by stirring the meat in one direction. Then season the meat with soy sauce, oyster sauce, sesame oil, white pepper, and Chinese 13 spice blend. You can omit this, but you will be missing out on that traditional flavor. Again, work in the seasonings by stirring the meat in one direction until it's got a homogenized texture. And then add in the ginger, spring onions, and 2 eggs. To this base, you can make all different types of dumpling fillings by adding whatever vegetables that you like. Which for me today is the cabbage that's been squeezed to rid of the excess water, and chopped up dill. Now the fillings are prepared, let's move on to making the wrappers. My tip here is to get your family or friends to join in and help. It's a lot of fun and it will go a lot faster. First, divide the big piece of dough into smaller pieces. Cover the pieces that you're not working on. Then take one piece of dough and roll it out into a long strip. Then cut the strip into smaller pieces that are roughly equal in size and weight. This takes a bit of practice and trial and error, but I say each piece of dough should weigh around 10 grams. Dust the dough pieces in flour to prevent sticking. To roll out a wrapper, simply round out the piece of dough and flatten it with the palm of your hand. Then, with a rolling pin, roll it out into a thin circle. Well, as round as you can get it. And practice makes perfect, so the more you do these, the better and more uniform they will be. To shape a dumpling, fill the center of the circle dough with filling. Depending on how big your circle is, you can probably fit between a half to 1 tablespoon. Then fold it by pulling the edges together and making pleats while pinching the ends closed. Here you've got a crescent-shaped dumpling. Another way is to pull close the edges, then put the half-moon-shaped dumpling in the center of 2 hands, and with the edges of your thumb and forefingers, press down to seal. This is a more rustic look. Whichever way you decide to fold the dumplings, just make sure the ends are tightly closed so the filling doesn't run out. And with fresh wrappers, you don't need any water to glue the ends together. Once you form all your dumplings, place them spaced out onto a plate or a tray, and they're ready to be frozen or cooked. To make boiled dumplings, carefully drop each into boiling water, then gently move it about so they don't stick to the bottom. Once they float up and the water has come back to a rolling boil, add a 1/4 cup or so of cold water. Now bring that back to a boil and repeat the process 2 more times. When the dumpling floats up again after 3 splashes of cold water, they should be cooked through. This takes about 6 to 8 minutes for fresh, 10 minutes for frozen. And finally, my super delicious secret sauce that will make these dumplings the best you've ever had. Start with minced garlic, then lots of sugar. Lots. Trust me, this is the secret. Followed by the usual soy sauce, vinegar, optional MSG, Sichuan peppercorn powder, and generous amount of my homemade hot chili oil. Now back to the boiling dumplings. Lift them out and serve piping hot alongside my addictive, spicy, sour, and sweet sauce. And if you've never tried dill in a dumpling, you must give it a go. It's a bit unusual, but the fragrance really works. Making Chinese dumplings completely from scratch is truly a labor of love. Rolling out the wrappers take time and effort, but the end result is so worth it. The chewy, robust texture is so much better than store-bought ones. I hope you can make these together with your loved ones this Chinese New Year. As always, go to yansfamilytable.com for the full written recipe. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more recipes like this. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.